The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
All right, back on the David Pakman Show. Make sure to get the David Pakman Show membership. You'll get the podcast commercial-free, the bonus shows, video of the bonus shows, and an archive dating back to August of 2005 of the show and bonus shows. It's incredible. It's weeks of audio, listening 24 hours a day. It's incredible value, isn't it, Lewis?
I would say so, yeah. It's a lot of David Pakman.
There's 5 signs that I want to talk about that the United States is moving away from religion. This is an interesting article where I first read this on Alternet. And I know we often talk about the negative effect of the irrational, blind faith in religion in this country, but I want to, for a second, look at things a little bit more optimistically. And if you look closely, there are actually some promising signs that American attitudes are changing in the way that there's this kind of impact of religion on politics and culture. And I think it's being dulled a little bit by a number of things. Do you agree with that, Lewis, before I go through these point by point? Do you think religion is becoming less of a factor in the U.S.?
100%.
Both Bachman, Rick Perry have ties to Christian dominionism, which is this theocratic philosophy that calls for a Christian takeover of America's political and civil institutions. So there are factors that want Christianity or religion to control all of government and politics and culture. But positively, Annie Laurie Gaylor, founder of the Freedom for Religion Foundation, told Alternet that she thinks what's happened in Europe is slowly happening in the U.S. And being anti-religion or questioning religion, more likely, is still seen as kind of taboo in many circles. However, it's happening more and more. And we see this, number one, American religious belief is becoming more and more fractured. We see that more and more. We see people saying they are religious but not actually attending any kind of services. And there's this kind of first layer before people actually consider themselves non-religious, where we're actually starting to see it already. Mm-hmm. How many people do we know who claim to be somewhat religious? It's been 10 years since they've been to any kind of services.
Right.
That's certainly a factor. Number two, non-belief or the acceptance of non-belief is on the rise. As we've talked with David Silverman, president of American Atheists, about several times, there are more and more atheists. And if you consider agnostics or other types of non-religious or not particularly religious groups, the number of so-called non-believers is absolutely on the rise. And most importantly, if we're going to look at the future of religion, there are more and more young people who don't identify as religious. And that really is where we need to look for the future. The same way that gay marriage is less and less of a big deal to young people, that's going to filter down as those people age, and it's going to be the kind of default, the starting point. And there are more and more young people who just don't really see anything in religion for them.
It's not cool. It's not hip to be going to church every Sunday.
Is that what it is among the kids now?
I think that's the impression I get.
Wow.
I mean, it wasn't when we were little, so why would it be now?
The kids that drink at your bar, do they go to church? Do they talk about it?
I don't think anyone goes to church, no.
Oh, but kids do drink at your bar.
I don't think I can name one person that I know that's our age or younger that goes to church more than once or twice a year.
No, we have friends that do. I'll tell you off the air. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just don't know about it. Okay, and also hate groups that often exploit religion to bash gay people or access to legal and safe abortions or contraception are actually not doing that well. A lot of them are hemorrhaging funds on the whole. There are still some that are doing well, but on the whole, they're hemorrhaging a lot of money. And this is kind of a little bit more lighthearted, but more and more people are having friends marry them as opposed to having a full religious service with a rabbi or pastor. And I think, again, that's another indication of where are we going to the future as those people age and start to have children. So I think it's very clear that the U.S. is going against being more religious towards being less.
Mm-hmm. But politically, at least at the moment,
it's still,
if you want a chance, you still have to at least pretend to be.
An atheist has no chance of being the president right now.